This is Bree from Bree Moore Design and Calligraphy. I am here to talk about brush lettering 101. I think this is something fun that we can do with our family and kids and anyone stuck at home during these weird, crazy times. But I just wanted to get on and talk a little bit about brush lettering. Today I have put together a booklet. This is a book that I use in my calligraphy classes. I've had a lot of people reach out asking when I'll do my next class, and I just haven't been able to get around to it. So what better way to do it for everybody at home? So this is the booklet that I use whenever I am doing a brush lettering class, and I would love for you to download this link that's right beside the video and follow along with me, and we will go through some of the warm-ups and the alphabet. And you can do this on your own or you can follow along with my video. Either way, I'd be happy to work with you guys. All right, so let's move forward. So today we are going to use a couple different pens. I want you to be able to see you can do this with any pen, not just a fancy calligraphy brush pen that you would have to go order online somewhere. So these are the couple pens that I'm going to use. So as you can see, we'll do a Crayola marker. Basically, everybody would probably have this in their art supplies at home, so that's something you could do this whole project with. This is another type of pen. One side is a really thin side, and the side we will use today is going to be the brush side. So you've got a nice thick felt tip on that end. Same with this one. This one has a nice thick felt tip. This was just in a pack from Hobby Lobby or Michael's, one of the stores you can find around town. Same with this one. There's lots of brush lettering packs of pens out these days, so anything would be good with that nice thick felt tip. And the one that I'll be doing all the letters with is this Tombow pen, and it is a specific brush marker. I just got one in pink, so it's really fun to write in, but this will give us really thin and thick strokes so you guys can see a little bit better of what I'm doing. So really, the main thing that you would want to learn about brush strokes is how to apply the thick and thin stroke. So for example, every time you're moving down in the letter, you're going to put a thicker pressure going down. Every time you're moving up, you want to barely touch the paper, just kind of drag it up. So that is something to remember. It's all about the mindset. That is what I teach in my classes. If you don't listen to anything, just start getting your hand to practice pressure when you're going down and no pressure when you're going up. So this is really the same thing for lettering as it is for calligraphy with ink and nib. That's the same idea. So let's go ahead and start a couple so you kind of understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so when we're going down, obviously we're going to want to start at the top. So you can work on some of the letters or some of the strokes that I have going here, or you can just start your own. So you are applying pressure all the way down, not letting up. That's what gives you that really thick, nice line. When you're going to your up strokes, you're going obviously from down to up. So here, you are just dragging it slightly. I am barely touching the paper, and that's what gives me that nice difference in thick and thin strokes. So once you kind of master that and your hand kind of understands this is what we're doing, this is brush lettering, it really starts to flow nicely. So here, let's do a couple thin and thick ones just to kind of morph it into your brain. That's really what it is a brain exercise half the time. So start from the top, go down thick, start from the bottom, go up thin, down thick, up thin, oops, too thin. And as you can see, I have a little bit of an angle. Obviously my paper is a little catty cornered, but if you see it straight on, that has a 30-degree angle that I'm always trying to kind of slightly move my letters in that direction, because that's going to give you that nice kind of calligraphy brush pen look. So just kind of keep a nice angle when you're writing. So for use, let's go ahead and start moving some of the pressure into the same letter or same shape. So we are going to start thick down, and then right about here, you really want to start lifting up your pen so you have a nice even stroke coming up. So thick down, less pressure, thick down, no pressure, thick down, no pressure. So we'll start doing an N, but let me go ahead and switch my marker. Let's go to a Crayola marker, okay? So this is going to be the same thing. It's got a very flexible tip, but it's going to be a little bit fatter. So the strokes are going to be a little bit different, but not too much. So here we're going to do a really thin upstroke and apply pressure going down, then up, thick down, then up, thick down, then up, thick down. And these lines are just kind of some guidelines. I'll tell you a little bit about the lines more in the next portion of the lowercase letters. So here you're just connecting. So we're not picking up our pen, we're just going to be doing a nice little squiggle line. So do thin, thick, up, down, up, down, up, down. So your E's and L's, those are a little more challenging than your O's. So we'll try the challenge first and then we'll go to our O's. So you're actually connecting letters here, which is going to be something fun. So a lot of times I like to pick up my pen when I'm connecting my letters. So we'll do a nice E, L, E, L. I think this makes the letters a little easier to see the strokes if you pick it up. So for O's, I'm just kind of starting on the outside corner, so I have a nice little start to make my thin line. I just connect it nicely, so we're not doing any kind of, if you start over here, you have the tendency to have this little wonky edge there. So as you can see, you can do it all in Crayola markers, orange and purple. Let's go for tigers. I didn't even realize I did that. But next we'll move on to lowercase letters, and I'll go ahead and get the Tombow pen out. Okay, now we are going to go through our lowercase letters. You can follow along, you can do this on your own. I have kind of the path that you're going to take as the first one. So if you need some more help, refer to that first letter if you can, and then we'll just go through and do a couple as we go. These lines right here, so this says ascender, waistline, baseline, and descender. So all that I'm talking about here, this baseline is going to be where everything lives. That's where all of the base of your letters are going to start or end. The waistline is what they're going to come up to. For example, the B is just going to go up to the waistline and come right back down. That's what the A's, C's, they don't need any more help. The ascender and the descender, those are going to be for everything that lives above the waistline. So your B's are going into your ascender, your F's are going down to your descender. So that's what those lines represent. This tall dotted line, that's going to be for your capitals. So we'll save that for there. But all of the other letters will kind of live between the ascender and descender lines. So that's what that means. So let's go ahead and start with our A's. It'll be a lot like the O's we just did. We'll start on this side and do a thick downstroke. So I'm doing just right up to the waistline and down. So as you see, I'm really not holding my pen down to the page the whole time. I'm picking it up, and that's giving me those nice lines that you see, the thin and thick. So B, we start down here. So this one's just a nice thick. I pick it up, and then a thick up into a thin. So again, thick down, thin, thick, thin, up. Those are your B's. C's are very easy. We kind of did a bunch of this in our practice. D's, I like to make a nice little O and start on the A cinder. Pick up. Sometimes I'm too light. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. And I apologize, some of the warm-up got on this page. I should have used a thicker paper. But this is just copy paper. Anything you want to use to print it out should be great. If you're using something like a permanent marker, go ahead and try to do a cardstock or something so it doesn't bleed through into your nice tables. All right, F, thick down, thin up. So thin, thick, thin, thin. Thin, thick, thin, thin. G's. H. H is one of my favorite letters. The capitals are my favorite for sure, but they're fun as a lowercase as well. How nerdy does that sound? I's are easy. J's. I have some flowers beside me. We had some company in town last week, and I have the prettiest little roses, and they're still hanging in there. And by the way, I hope everyone else is hanging in there during the coronavirus scare. So it's nice to have something to do while we're stuck inside all day. And I'm sorry I can't teach class. So what better way than to do it online for a little bit? L's. M's. So M's get a little tricky because they have a lot of loops. Not loops, but humps. So I like to pick my pen up on each hump so my brain kind of refreshes when I need to do my thin and thick strokes, and I get a much better M. N is pretty much the same. All right, so we'll move on to the next page. And we're back with some O's. Here I made a nice little circle, like a little doodad that comes out of it. But if you want to keep them plain, you can. It all kind of depends on different styles. So if I want to do something a little more whimsical, I might add that extra little loop in there. If I'm keeping it really plain and simple for a nice, I don't know, flourished calligraphy style for a wedding invitation or something, I might keep that simple and make sure to have some really fun flourishes for some of the larger letters, like the capitals. So P's, those have a little loop down there. These get a little hairy if you're using Crayola markers, so you might want to just keep it more simple. Do one downstroke. But if not, the loop is really nice. Q. Thick, thick, thin, thin. Thick, thick, thin, thin. R's. You can have a little loop if you like. I think that's really pretty, and it goes right above the waistline. Or you can do something a little plainer, just have a little point at the top. S's are very fun as well, and I usually bring those up a little bit above the waistline. Keep those a little simpler. You can just do a little flick like that, not all the loops. T's. Have fun playing with your crossover. You can do all kinds of stuff. All right, let's come up a little bit. These U's are just like the things we did in our warm-up. Just a little bit more styled. V's. I haven't done many classes lately. I've gotten into wedding invitation design. So that is something that, since I am a graphic designer and not just calligrapher, I was able to kind of jump into that field. And that's been really fun, learning what brides like and all the different styles out there. Anything goes really now. There's not many rules anymore. So soon I'm hoping to launch a website that is for wedding invitations. But during this time, it's a little hard to do it with the coronavirus and everybody's rescheduling their weddings. So it'd be nice just to start out fresh, so I will be able to help supply any wedding day items as needed. Whenever I got married last year, that was one of the major things that I had fun doing, was doing my own wedding day of materials, invitations, all that. So I am hoping to provide that to all the brides who need them coming up. So be on the lookout for some new things from me. Lots of nice people helping me out getting this going. Okay, so we're at the bottom and we're going to learn how to connect our letters. So this cat and dog, you can just practice that again. That is what we've been doing, but I wanted you to see the connection. We did this a little bit with the E's and L's, how I said to keep picking up your pen. Another thing to know is this is not like cursive. So cursive, your pen is always to the page. It never comes up, is what I learned in school. With this, you want to pick up as much as possible, because if your pen was to the page, you are overdoing that stroke right there. Did you see what I did? I overdid that A. So if you pick up, so you really want to start at this side of the A. Your hairline strokes are a lot better than that thick A. So same with dog. You want to start your O over here and your G over here. So those are just two good examples of how picking up your pen is encouraged during brush lettering and calligraphy. All right, friends, so let's go ahead and go on to capitals. You should be a pro at this by now, right? I'm just kidding. Brush lettering is a lot of practice, the same as calligraphy. That mindset of thick down, thin up is what to keep in the back of your mind when you're practicing. But other than that, it's just a fun thing to do on a rainy day or while you're quarantined for coronavirus. The new thing now is just that dotted upper line like I mentioned earlier. So we'll just be going through, doing thin, thick. I'm going to show you a couple of other variations of stuff if you really want to play. You can just do a larger A, like lowercase. So B's. B's took a long time to perfect because that's my name. So I really enjoyed learning how to do different B's. C. D. You can do a nice little stroke through. Let's come up a little bit. E's are now my new last name since I got married, so those can be fun too. A lot of writing S's, B's, and C's when we were doing our wedding invitations, so I feel like I'm an expert at those now. Let's see. Do a little flick on that one if you want. I think that looks nice. G's, a larger version of our lowercase g. Sometimes I like to make them a little fancier. H, my favorite letter. It's just really fun to do all the swoops. I usually like to keep that one similar throughout my styles. I. Another variation of I. J's I keep pretty similar too. I think they're pretty as they are. Okay. Let's see, let's do a fun K. It looks very similar. But nice little point there. L's can be a little tricky to me. Just getting that variation of what you'd like them to look like. So it can go below the baseline, it can live up there, it can have a slightly taller curve, it can have a thick one starting out. Those are fun to play with to see how it works into your style. M is just a larger version of your lowercase letter. Or you can do something fun. Lots of M's. Everything starts with Mr. and Mrs. for the most part, so that's what I'm always working on. All right, let's move on. Okay, back to O's. I have that one with a little flick. This can just be normal. Sometimes I like to do a pretty O. P's. It's really fun to kind of figure out all the different styles in one setting. My brain, I can't believe it works half the time with some of these things. Q's. I rarely use Q's, so I don't have too many variations of a Q, but when you use them, you can make them count. R's. R's are pretty. S. T. You can do a straight T as well if you'd like something more like that. Move up a little bit. U's, lowercase u for the most part. You kind of rarely use uppercase U's as well. V's we use a lot. B's there. All right, let's move up a little bit. W. X, that's another rare one. So, not many variations on that guy. Y, you can do a lot of fun things with the descender here. Do a nice loop. All kinds of fun things there. And Z, you'll probably rarely use that one too when you're addressing. I hate to say it if somebody has the last name Z, but you can always keep it curly if you want to do something fun like that. So these last two things are just some fun challenges if you want to practice a little bit more. So the first one is write your first and last name connecting your letters. And again, just remember to pick up. I'll go ahead and try to do that for you guys. I'll just go ahead. There's a new variation of R. And this is my new last name since I got married. And actually Monday is our wedding anniversary of 1 year. So we will be staying home in the quarantine, but hopefully I can make a fun dinner or something. The next is write your favorite dessert. Gosh, I have so many right now. Let's just do, I'll do a long one so y'all can see a little bit more. So my grandmother used to make the best pound cake. Hers was lemon, but I had vanilla the other day, so that's what's in my mind. But as you can see when I was writing a little bit, I like to flick it up a little bit. I think sometimes, for example, that little flick gives it a nice little thin hairline stroke that is better than applying pressure all throughout. So that's just a fun little tip and trick. So that was your lowercase, a warm up, a lowercase, and your uppercase letters. There's a few other sheets that are in your packet, and I hope you have enjoyed learning a little bit about the basics of brush lettering. But I just really enjoyed you watching this, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and pick up a couple tips and tricks to do around the house and for fun art projects in the future. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.